Welcome back. It's your boy Carcino here. Let's get into it like we do it at this time. You know, it must be said, though it hurts to say. Um, Rappers, entertainers, everyone in this business, they need to learn how to focus on what's important. And they need to focus on contracts. You need to know what you're signing. It's a lot of pieces of paper. And they say, hey, you got to sign it or else. Well, I'll be like, well, if you won't give me time enough to read this thing, then I'm not signing it. I'm not that desperate. Because I'm not going to put myself in something where I could never get out of. You end up signing a contract. Like Conway said in his interview, he didn't even read his Griselda contract. Now, he quite sure they can work things out. But then again, you don't know. But he knows now he's fulfilled his obligation. And hit the like button coming through the door, ladies and gentlemen. You want to support the page? My name is Carcino on the Cash App, Karceno. That's me. And everybody can super chat while this is live. If you're watching it after the live broadcast, then you could hit the Cash App if you want to support. Now, Megan Thee Stallion, just as I thought, Carl would countersue her. She wanted to sue her label because they were not honoring her last album as an album. Because Nas went through the same scenario. When he tried to issue Lost Tapes 2 and count that as part of his Def Jam deal to get, further out of his contract, and they weren't going to honor that because in the contract it says previously unreleased materials. Now, she released an album called Something for the Hotties. Something for the Hotties had some songs on there, but it had interludes that didn't have Megan Thee Stallion in it, and the songs only come out to about 29 minutes. If you're an artist, you got to know to reach a certain amount of minutes to equate what they would consider a full album. Meaning that you got to go past a certain minutes window, and the studio, the way the contract is structured, which is called the Prince rule, because Prince went through this with Warner Brothers, they have the right to approve songs. They have to approve to say, okay, we okay with this song, we're okay with this song, to make sure you ain't going gabba 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 on every record. Prince did this to try to get out of his Warner Brothers deal. Put out some horrendous songs, risked ruining his own brand, and was just putting these albums out like every week, no promotion and nothing. He just throwing them out. And the songs are just like half-made jam sessions. It's just thrown out there. So this contract was a revision so that nothing like that would happen again. So it's called the Prince rule. Most people have never heard of it, but now you know. That the record companies, it would say in the contract that they have the final say. They have to approve the songs. Megan probably didn't understand this and probably did not read her contract or things like that. And the Rock Nation people probably missed it. I don't know how they missed it. because normally that is in a lot of people's contracts and they don't know. You have to have full length albums. Like it's got to be at least over 48 minutes or 40 some minutes of material. Now, when you're in a lawsuit like this, give them their album and just be done with it. Give them their album, complete that, and be done with the situation. Now, the record company in the countersuit says that Megan owes them money. They've cost them money, and now they're countersuing for more. This is going to be a big financial mess. And what this does is put strain on Megan Thee Stallion's career. Many people feel that she can't take the pressures. This Tory Lanez situation is actually gotten worse because now his social media pundits are running around doing a campaign of promoting him, trying to change and steer narratives. Now, if this thing does not come out in her favor, she will lose a lot of public appeal. And she will lose a lot of the fans who supported her if this turns out to go left. Now, with that being said, does the lawsuit have teeth? Well, based on listening to Something for the Honeys, the record company, if they have all the verbiage in the contract, it has teeth and claws. Because now, by her not really fulfilling her obligation, what can happen is what happened with Nas' situation with Columbia Records. They wanted to get rid of Nas. Nas wanted to go. He didn't want to make them another album for Columbia Records. After they screwed up his double CD release and the promotion and everything else, he was done. So now he's ready to leave and go to Def Jam because they offered him a huge contract. There's only one problem. Only one problem in the scenario. And that problem was that he's still old and they didn't want to pay. So they worked out a joint venture where everybody's sharing the profits. So they co-promoted and worked together on the album. And that's what I see they could do here. But everything started off so ugly. I don't know if they're going to be willing to do that. Even for Meg Thee Stallion. Like, I just don't think they like her right now. Now, I'm not saying as an artist, because they basically just made another Megan Thee Stallion over there and just said, look, we got another star. She finna come up too. So we don't stop. So they got this other lady that basically sounds like Megan Thee Stallion. And they finna just put her in Megan's place and keep going. But with Meg, her problem is she's got to learn how to navigate the game. And I don't think she does. And I don't know how far Rock Nation wants to go into this thing here. But if they want to keep doing what they're doing, thinking they're just going to run Carl out of the business, Carl did a smart thing by grabbing Jay Prince for his guidance in this situation, because he's like, look, I let my manager or my guy, he knows about music, I let him do that. I just own the record company. So I went and got Jay Prince because he knows, I'm like, look, they trying to just take what I built and just strip me of the artist that I created. So what's going on here? I need help. So he went and got Jay Prince. Smart businessman. That's what you do. You hire other people that are smarter than you, or know something more about this situation. So it only makes sense. Now, with that being said, the world it's a weird place. And you look at the business decisions that are made by some of these so-called experts, right? You bring in your legal teams. So now you probably violated and costed of 5101 or 1501s a lot of money, right? She could have cost them a lot of money. Violating its terms of agreements and all of the details that's in there and the principles, you cost them a lot of money. You wasted a lot of people's time. Now, nobody wants to hear from you anymore. You're going to play on out. And whose fault that's going to be? Because when the chips are down, no one's checking for you. See what I'm saying, homeboy? Rug Nation came through and tried to bully their way and take Meg Thee Stallion, even though she was under contract. And because this was a small company they tried to bulldoze their way through. They worked out an agreement with Rock Nation to say, okay, you want Meg, but look, we got to be taken care of. So they thought they had an agreement, and now they see this agreement has been violated numerous of times because Rock Nation feel we can do what we want, let them take us to court. We got enough money and enough bank to keep throwing money at it, and we'll just keep making whatever we want to do with Meg. Now that's going to come up to catch up with you when her sales or everything that they've pushed is not meeting expectations, or there's new talent. There's not a lot of shows going on right now, but the summer is coming up and she's got to put out some hot music because everything that's going on right now, the world needs some music out here or something to get popping from the females. Nicki Minaj is coming back. Cardi B's talking about coming back. So, with all this stuff in place, and you see all these moves and all these people making these type of big jumps, you got to start asking yourself one question. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Okay. Yeah, that's what you need to ask yourself. Is it worth it? Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one holding the bag. So you're going to want to ask yourself over and over again, am I doing the right thing? So if you're a new artist, I want you to listen to this. And I want you to understand it clearly. Not joking. I'm serious. Do you want to make records or do you want to be rich? Are you want to be a rapper or you want to be rich? A rich artist. You might think that's the same thing, but they're not. You will be surprised how many people tell you they want to just be known as the realest rapper in the game. That's all they ever wanted. For somebody to tell them that they nice. That's all they want. Somebody to tell them that they nice or, man, I'm feeling you. That's it. That's their reward. A bunch of people patting them on the back. They get a bunch of, damn. Well, damn. What is going on here? So anyway, enough of that. But anyhow, the whole world had changed. And everybody just really was in this mind frame of thinking, I just gotta be the illest. I need for people to know that I need to know people feeling me, son. I need to be felt. All right, mother sucker. Think they feeling you now? Because they not. Think you the hottest thing in Nebraska? You're not. Because at the end of the day, your kids can't eat no Grammy trophies. They can't eat those certificates. When you stop and retire or you go cold and nobody's checking for you on your IG no more, or your new record or your new song, don't say I didn't warn you. Don't try to get it smart then. Be smart now. The game is designed to take from you. Okay? It's 80% to the record label, 20% to the artist. You gotta know that walking through the door. That's how the pie is basically divided. It's an 80-20 split. So you know that anything you getting from the company, you're getting it at a loan because you have to pay an interest rate on what's going on. You think they loan you $2 million, you pay $2 million back? Everything's coming at a markup. So you have to know what all I need from this record company. What all can they do for me that I really need them for? If I need them to make me a star in this day and era, in the digital age, you are lost. It will never happen for you. Stop trying. Give it up. Get a day job. Do something else. Because if you can't market yourself and you don't have what they call a digital imprint, that means if you on social media, Instagram, Facebook, somebody's blowing you up or talking about you. If you don't have that popping for you, sir, let me be the one to tell you. If you don't have that, you have nothing. Female rapper, male rapper, trans rapper, whatever. You don't have that digital imprint, you're not going anywhere. You might as well get ready to cancel Christmas. Now, I'm quite sure contracts will say exactly what I just stated. That they have the rights to approve the songs and that the songs are released without their approval. Now, how can they get past that? It's like, well, if they feel they can go along or whatever without the approval, they could pay a fine for doing it. But the album has to be basically it has to be viewed to see if it's a completed album. If it is, then she'll win the lawsuit. Everything depends on if a judge can declare this is an album that basically fulfills the contract. So you would need a judge that understands this process. So what they would normally do is go to an arbitration before you go to a judge. Means that it's like a speedy trial. Everybody get all their details together, and they go into one room with a judge. There's no jury or nothing, and they settle it all right there. Everything's final, and it's knocked out. Now, many people in the world will tell you that it's a good idea to go up against giant record companies if you have all your paperwork and your T's crossed and your I's dotted. But don't count Rock Nation out. They have a bunch of lawyers. They can stretch this thing out. They can make things really uncomfortable for a long period of time. But in the end, does the ends justify the means? Which means Meg is going to have to start bringing in money. But I mean big money. They have been spending money on Meg, putting her on top of magazines, putting her in everything to try to get everybody focused on Meg and Meg only. Meg has made money. But she's so far in the hole, she does not know it. Like, she doesn't know how far and deep in the hole she really is. And this is the problem with most artists who are hot and they had hot records. Cardi B was basically broke from 2016 to like 2019 and 20. Now, when I mean broke, I mean not like that. She's somebody who had $20-30 million sitting in an escrow account that she couldn't touch. Her money was going there because she had to pay her old managers because she switched managements once she blew up. But all the Bodak Yellow and all that stuff, she was under the other management. Then she went to the bigger management company, and they had to basically have the same situation Meg is having now. So when she did this move, this changed everything. Because she went without Offset, the Migos manager, and everything. It was all about tampering and how they sabotaging the management crew from New York, and it was a big mess. We had covered it, but it's similar to this. But her money was stuck in escrow. So she had to do fashion and all this other stuff that they put up for her. And Cardi was making all these other people money. And they were giving her pieces and keeping her, and all this stuff. So she really didn't have to pay for stuff, but she couldn't really go out and splurge the way she wanted to because she hadn't really got the money yet. The money was stuck in the pipeline. It was coming, but it was stuck in the pipeline. It was on its way. Now, if I told you if that could have went the other way, like the management was big enough to where they could fight, things could have went a little different, because it was more of a managerial problem than a record label problem. This is more of a record label distribution management problem. Rock Nation want her on a whole platform of theirs and away from Carl completely, which they don't mind getting rid of Meg. They just want to get paid and compensate. But in Carl's defense, he said, look, the person that I did business with is the person that you guys brought in to do the business with me. And yeah, I worked with him before, but y'all problem is y'all wanted to contact him instead of contacting myself. So all the conversations was going to another party. But that guy knew the record business. So if that guy ripped Meg off or did something that wasn't right, that was Carl's fault because he said, I'll own that because I own the record company, even though this is the guy that y'all wanted to work with. Y'all chose to work with him and saying, this is the guy. So we like him, and her mother, rest in peace, chose that guy. So it is what it is. How do I see things playing out in the future? Cardi B will get her money. Cardi B got her money, and Meg Thee Stallion will be all right. How you think her case is gonna go? I don't know. I think Tory's gonna not get found guilty of that. It'll be some small infraction where he won't get deported, but it won't be any real resolution to the situation. They'll just say it's inconclusive. So we can't really convict him. And then she'll still say he still shot me. It's never going to get resolved even with court. All Rock Nation wanted to do was use this as publicity to market Meg when it happened. So they've done that to the core. But Tory Lanez is a goofy anyway, so it don't surprise me. Now, moving forward, I will be going over more contracts and more of the record business like we did today on the Patreon. And we're going to talk about why athletes go broke compared to those players that don't go broke. We're going to start going over the differences. So definitely stay tuned. Like I said, hit the like button if you like what you heard. Subscribe to the page, the notification bell. Make sure you hit that. And God bless y'all. I'm out. The Casino for Life Patreon. Y'all should probably go over there. Yeah. It's going to go down.